is that you got to keep that labor margin really in any business below 50%, or you probably don't have a viable business. And in the tight labor market with the labor inflation that happened, it takes a little more intentionality to make that happen. So managing labor well, and are you priced properly, right, to handle that labor, whatever your labor is.
Yeah. When I think about managing cash flow, as we kind of bring ourselves to wrapping up here, is I noticed that one of the mistakes is this just the eye off the ball, right? We talked about looking at financials, but one of the ways you and I have had lots of conversation about, which is looking at the most important actual ratio or percentage numbers, right? Your gross profit margin, your labor burden margin, right? What you're looking at, and then your operating profit margin. Just those three numbers by themselves are really, really good nutshell that if those numbers go well, and if you stay on top of collections, more things tend to go well with cash flow. And then the second one I'll put out here as a mistake from my end is I see is the vanity or the misconceived purchases that an owner makes. Sometimes it's, hey, Kevin, I thought I was supposed to buy more stuff so I have less in tax.
Yep.
Sometimes it's more of, I wanted to remodel my office or I wanted to have this. And I'm like, well, you're welcome to do that, but you really should be making a calculation. Is that money well spent? And I was talking with a friend of mine who wrote a book, Kevin, called Less is More. This is a number of years ago. And in that book,
Hmm.
he interviewed various business CEOs and owners of privately held companies. And one was an owner of a fairly large regional bank. And they were known in the industry for being really cheap in terms of like spending on headquarters and other things. Many banks had beautifully apportioned headquarters. Theirs was, stuff you could buy at a Staples, nothing bad, but it was fast and easy. You need another desk? Well, let's spend $300 on the desk. We're not going to spend $3,000 on this stuff. And lo and behold, when you had what happened in the 90s with savings and loan issues, many of these banks came into trouble. They
Yep.
didn't because they really had cash flow under control. And one of it was they didn't make vanity purchases.
That's right. Yep. Yeah, and it's everyone that being a grown-up company is something where you have that level of financial maturity